Am I ready for the wedding? Whose wedding is it I'm attending, by the way? The subject verb nuptial. Ding 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 ding. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the subject verb nuptial. I learned about English and the rules, the grammar, etc. I've always suspected that subject and verb have a love affair. Don't you think so? Today, ladies and gentlemen, join me as we are going to explore the love affair, the story of subject and verb, and why they need to agree. Like all other things, subject and verb need to agree. Why, you ask me? For world peace. Peace, y'all. Before we dive into the topic of subject verb agreement rules, we first need to identify the subject and the verb in the sentence. Subject and the verb are the two main actors in a sentence. The subject, it's a noun or a pronoun, the thing or the person that is being talked about in the sentence. The verb is the main predicate that the sentence has to have two parts, the subject and the predicate. Now, the main ingredient of the predicate is the verb, is the action word. It tells what the subject is doing. First rule says that the subject and the verb must agree in number. Now, in English, when we say number, it refers to whether that noun or the subject is, or your verb is singular or plural. When you say singular, single, solo, that just means one, and then plural means two or more. There are more than one. How do you know that that subject is singular or plural? Or how do you know that that verb is singular or plural? You would know because of the presence of s at the end of that word, of your subject or of your verb. S is very important here, okay? S is very important. Your subject, you'd know it's singular when it has no s at the end, okay? You'd know it's plural when your subject has an s at the end. I'm talking generally, like 80-90% of the subjects, the regular nouns, okay? And for the verb, you know it's singular because it has an s at the end. Okay? Do not get this confused with the noun or with your subject. Also, you know that your verb is plural because it has no s at the end. Subject, no s, verb with s. Okay? Or you may have subject with s, then your verb has no s. Okay? We have the opposites attract. Just choose your s once, either in your subject or in your verb. No two s's. Why? So that we can minimize the hissing sound. That's like we're always saying this, okay, at the end part of the word. Girl plays or girls play, not girls plays, not even girl play. There has to be an s in either subject or your verb. Example, the girl plays the piano. The girl there, our subject is singular, being the girl, then our verb has an s, plays, okay, the piano. Then our example sentence number 2, the girls play the piano. So our girls there is plural because it has an s, so therefore our verb play is also plural because it has no s. Your subject and the verb, they usually come close, come near to each other. They stick side by side. Almost most of these sentences, they have the subject and the verb lying sitting close to each other because they have a love affair, like I told you earlier, right? Now we have rule number 2 for the subject verb agreement. For rule number 2, we will be talking about the intervening words or phrases. When I say intervening phrases or words, these are the villains, the wicked witches that come between the story of our subject and our verb. Like I said earlier, they always come close to each other. Because of these villains, the intervening phrases or words, they try to take them far away from each other. Like bashers, don't bother them, don't mind them. Okay? They have nothing to do with your love story. Okay? For as long as you love each other very much, nah, the whole world doesn't matter. These are the words that come in between a subject and verb. Sometimes that happens, okay? Examples are the words together with, accompanied by, as well as, along with, okay? Those words, those phrases, plus the appositives. Appositives, these are phrases that add more definition of the noun that come before them. Remember that only the subject and the verb have to agree. All the rest, all the other words in that sentence don't matter. They don't matter at all. Okay? So focus, keep your eyes on the subject and the verb. Okay? They are the only ones that need to agree. The principal, together with the teachers, welcomes the new students. What is our subject in the sentence? It's not teachers. Our main actor is the principal. How many principal? What's the number of the principal? Singular. There's just one principal. Our subject there is principal, then our verb is welcomes. So principal welcomes the students. Never mind the together with the teachers. Okay? Don't get confused with teachers. Teachers, although it's a noun, but that's not our main subject. Our subject there is the principal. Those are just actually intervening phrases. Rule number 3 is on prepositional phrases. These prepositional phrases get you confused. Where is now my subject? Which is which? Which is my subject now? Where is my verb now? Prepositional phrases are also like intervening phrases. They come in between, and then they get the subject and verbs thrown out. Okay, they get your subject and the verbs scattered away. Prepositional phrases, these are, of course, a group of words that begin with a preposition like in, on, at, with, by, beside, near. Okay, those are prepositions. The little words, they end with a noun or a pronoun, like by the window, of the store. The parents of the pupil meet the teacher. What is our subject in that sentence? It's not pupil. It's the parents. And parents are plural, singular. Parents, that ends in s, so that's a plural subject. And what is our verb? Our verb there is meet. Therefore, parents meet the teacher. It's not the pupil. It's the parents who meet the teacher. Rule number 4, we're talking of here and there. Here and there are never subjects, but they too are villains in the love story of our subject and the verb. Because of them, they get our subjects and verbs away from each other. Again, here and there are not subjects, so you should be extra careful as to finding which is or where is your subject and where is your verb. Okay, be extra careful, because sometimes in this sentence with here and there, the subject is not found at the first part of your sentence. The verb comes before your subject. Here are the pens that you requested. What is our subject? Our subject is, what are we talking about? We are not talking about here. We're talking about the pens. How many pens that you requested? Singular, plural? That's plural because it ends with s. So now, what is our verb? That explains it, why we have our verb as are. Here are the pens that you requested. One tip with when we have here and there in a sentence, or for those that are the reversed or the inverted sentence, okay, you just have to transpose them. Okay, when I say transpose, just place the order in a natural order, natural sequence. Like when in that sentence we have our sentence, here are the pens that you requested. Just put that as, the pens that you requested are here. Now that makes sense, right? There are a raincoat and umbrella behind the door. There did we use are? It looks awkward because of are, then you use an. I mean a raincoat. But actually you have two things that are behind the door. You have raincoat plus you have the umbrella. 1 plus 1 equals 2. So that's plural now. So like I said, just transpose that. Just place the sentence in its natural order or natural sequence, like it would look like this. You have a raincoat and umbrella are behind the door. So that makes sense why you have are. Now for rule number 5, we'll be dealing with questions, subject and verb as they are used in question forms. Okay, subjects don't always come before the verb in questions. You have a different order or sequence when we talk of questions. Does she like lasagna? Remember that when you use the 3D or the do does did, your verb should be in the back to its base form. When I say again about base form, they should be in its back to its original root form. No extensions at the end when you use the do does did. Okay, that's why although we have our subject as she is supposed to be singular, but you use that in question, you have do, you have does. So does she like lasagna, not does she likes. Where are the parts of this robot? Our verb there, are, comes before our subject, which is parts, not the robot. Okay, so we use are. Where are the parts of the robot? Rule number 6, we'll be talking about and, the very powerful and. Okay, when you use and, that means there are more than one. And is like a connector, it's a conjunction. So you have this and this, so there would be two. When we say two, there's more than one subject, so that's already plural. Okay, so when you use and, your subject there is already plural, so therefore your verb should also be plural. Mara and Clara are friends now. Mara, that's singular. Clara is also singular. So 1 plus 1, because of and, that's now plural. So that's why we use the verb are. Now for rule number 7, this is when we talk about the same person or the same thing. This is a special case for and this is very tricky, but this happens not so commonly or not so frequently. Okay, we have sometimes we talk of things, but we mean the same thing or person. My mother and mentor helps me read. You would ask me then, Teacher Jerry, why did you use helps? That's singular. When in fact, you said you have your mother and your mentor or your teacher. That's what I said. I said, my mother and mentor helps me read. In that sense, my mother is also my mentor. She helps me read. My mother and my mentor are the same person. Okay? My mother is also my teacher. My mother and my mentor help me read. Now, in this case, you have my mother, my mentor help. Why then? How come, Teacher Jerry? That's plural now. Because my mother is a different person from my mentor. My teacher and my mother are two different people. Okay? My mother there is not my mentor there is not my mother. These are two different people. How do you know then that these are two different things or people? And when do we know then that these things or people refer to the same person or thing? My example is my. For first sentence, my mother and mentor. Notice how many times did I use the word my? Only once. Okay, I did not repeat it. I just say my mother and mentor. So that's singular, referring to one person only. Now, in my second sentence, I said my mother and my mentor. That's now two different people. So that's plural. Okay, only use the word my, or sometimes use the word the other articles, determiner once when you refer to the same thing or taken as one thing or person. You have to repeat it. You have to use it twice when you are going to refer to two different people or things. Bread and butter is my brunch. What did I use is when I talked of bread and butter? I use and, like bread and butter is taken as one. Okay? I did not separate them. Like this is bread, this is butter. I put the butter in the bread. Now for rule number 8, each, every, one, and no, when they come before the subject, the verb is singular, even if it has and. Every girl and boy takes the test. You have there and boy and girl. That's supposed to be take the test. But you have every girl and boy takes the test. That's singular now because of every, even if you have and, because you refer to every, to each one of the boys and girls. For rule number 9, when both of your subjects are singular and then you have the word, when they are connected by the words or, nor, either or, neither nor, not only but also, therefore your verbs should also be singular. Mom or dad is picking me up. It's either your mom, one, or your dad is picking you up. Either bro or sis takes me to the movies. So that's singular, because either one of those. One subject is singular and the other subject is also singular, and you are made to choose. Either way, you still get to choose a singular subject. For rule number 10, we have to be very careful with these words. When your sentence, especially when your subject or your nouns have these words before them, you have some, half, none, more, all. Okay, when you have those words, you have to check, double check your object of your preposition. Some of the paint is still wet. Why did we use is when you have some? Some, it looks like there are many. It looks like plural. But what do we use is, which is singular verb? Why? Because some there refers to the paint. Okay? And paint is singular. Okay, that's the object of your preposition. That's the object of your some. Okay, it's singular. Paints is singular because that's a non-countable, right? So is still wet. Some of the chairs are newly painted. Why did we use are? Some there refers to the object of your preposition, which is chairs. And chairs is plural because that is countable, right? You can count one chair from the other. So that's plural. Time for test. This will have to check whether you learned from those 10 rules of subject verb agreement. Just choose the correct verb that agrees with our subject. The flowers are fragrant. The flowers are fragrant. The flowers are fragrant. 2. Liza, accompanied by her fans, hides from the paparazzi. Liza, accompanied by her fans, hides from the paparazzi. Liza, accompanied by her fans, hides from the paparazzi. Number 3. The color of the envelopes matters most. The color of the envelopes matters most. The color of the envelopes matters most. Number 4. Here are the book you wished to borrow. Here are the book you wished to borrow. Here is the book you wished to borrow. 5. Where are the letters from the bank? Where are the letters from the bank? Where are the letters from the bank? Number 6. Both Billy and Vong dances well. Both Billy and Vong dances well. Both Billy and Vong dance well. Number 7. Pork and beans were my breakfast in college. Pork and beans were my breakfast in college. Pork and beans was my breakfast in college. 8. Every man and woman passes by the gate. Every man and woman passes by the gate. Every man and woman passes by the gate. Number 9. Neither the coach nor the contestant gets the correct answer. Neither the coach nor the contestant gets the correct answer. So neither the coach nor the contestant gets the correct answer. Number 10. All of the test kits have been used. All of the test kits for COVID have been used. All of the test kits have been used. That's it, class. You have learned about the first 10 rules of subject verb agreement. You have to stay focused. You have to keep your eyes fixed to the subject and the verb in the sentence. No other things will matter, okay? You have to stick to the subject and the verb. When the subject is singular, it needs a singular verb. When the subject is plural, it needs a plural verb. Okay? Well, this has been Teacher Jerry again. Do not forget to like, share, comment, okay? And then, of course, subscribe to my channel.